Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah. Koholoim la Yahweh. Bahashim Yahushai. Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. Just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Achanan Nawaf. Just coming at you with another quick lesson. Praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. We have another drive-thru, another employee shooting, at a damn fast food restaurant. This is in Law and Order. This is the guy on the screen right here. And it says, "Oh, I'm a pussy." Checkers employee climbs through drive-thru window, shoots customer to deletion after dispute over mayonnaise request. Crazy, bro. But that lets you know these spirits of vengeance are real. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai is judging the earth, and especially amongst you Israelites, you wicked ass Israelites, man. And this is where, when you see articles like this, you can get, wisdom, or we can do edifying lessons, or they should be edifying to the person that's listening, because the Lord, He placed life and death before us, and there's no in between. You're gonna choose one or the other. So if you're listening to what He said to do, you're going to be dealing on the side of life. If you're not doing what He said to do, you're going to be dealing on the side of death. And this is the type of stuff that happens. Because one simple scripture would have settled all this. Matter of fact, let me get, it's in Proverbs. A soft answer, right? Yep, Proverbs 15:1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. That one scripture right there would have settled this whole entire situation. But guess what? Neither one of those guys knew that. So let's get a little bit of the article. A dispute over mayonnaise led to an employee at Checkers shooting a customer to death outside the fast food joint in Florida. Yeah, a lot of weird shit be going on in Florida, but I guess it's all of America. It's not just there. Elijah Mackey, 23, stands accused of first-degree murder in the death of 40-year-old Wesley Robertson, authorities say. And you're talking about somebody that could be this guy's dad, man. And I'm not saying that for a 40-year-old. I was just thinking that yesterday. I've seen some Jake. These guys, man, well into their 50s, man, 60 years old, pants hanging off their ass, them stupid ass cornrows, still trying to live the life, man, as if they were, 19, 20. And I'm just looking like, damn, Jake, when do you give that shit up, man? I'm talking about out with open beer containers, open liquor containers, smoking bud. Just goddamn, when do you stop that shit? Okay, but it says, according to the probable cause arrest affidavit, deputies with the sheriff's office, okay, they responded to this happened at night, like around 10 p.m. That's why, too, we go off into this scripture right here. Let me get it in the Apocrypha. You have stuff to do. You think that you should be able to be out and about, but you're not living in that type of society or day and time. But this is Ecclesiasticus 32 and 10. It said, 11. Rise up bedtime and be not the last, but get thee home without delay. Which means to get up early, handle your business, and get on back to the crib, man, because this shit is no good out here after dark. It's no good, before dark. You want to pretty much get up, move about the day when shit is not as active. These drunks, these drug heads, these motherfuckers are still asleep from that long night before, because by the time they get up, it's 3, 4 in the afternoon. Or at least the ones that don't have no damn jobs, and by the time they get going, it's well after dark. They done had their drinks, they done smoked, they done, pop their pills, they done dumped, they done, and then that's when a lot of real serious crimes go down. It's really after dark, but it happens in the daytime too. But still, get up. The scripture says to also walk circumspectly. Just a basic, back to the basics type of lesson, man. And just, hey, be safe, man. Listen to what the Lord is saying. Ephesians 5 and 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. So you want to be circumspect, spiritually and physically, because a lot of people, they just looking down at their phones. They not paying attention. They got earbuds in their fucking ear, just not paying attention to anything. They don't look in the rearview mirrors. It's just at every light, they texting, laughing, boo-hooing, giggling, not knowing a motherfucker is following them. That type of stuff, man. You have to be circumspect out here, man, and use wisdom, because when you're out and about at night, it's different, man, these days. It's not what it used to be, man. You don't want to be pulling up at no gas stations. You might want to wait until the morning if you can. If you see a group of niggas at a gas station, 2, 3, more than one nigga, it's 2 niggas, especially 3, 4. You want to keep it pushing, man. Don't even stop at that gas station. Just, head on up the street if you can make it to another one. Should you rather run out of gas than to roll into one of these gas stations, you know what I'm saying, where it's a group of niggas standing around and they, because you just never know what they're going to do. Anyway, let's go back to the article. This shit is retarded, but it's not surprising. People are in that mode of 2 Timothy chapter 3, and I'll grab that up on where it talks about in the end days, perilous times shall come. Okay, so paramedics rushed Robertson to the hospital where doctors pronounced him deleted or deceased. Witnesses later told detectives Robertson had been complaining to a female employee about his order and requested several times to speak with the manager, which that's what should have happened, in the order of things. And you got a problem with an employee, that's not, hey, look, you trying to make it home, because these people crazy as fuck. You don't want them waiting around, because these people are crazy enough to wait on you to get off work. They will. I mean, come on, bro. And again, that soft answer, well, sir, why the fuck can you just get the man some more goddamn mayo? Get him a couple of mayo packs. I'd have gave that motherfucker like 10 or 20 of them. But here, bro, you know what I'm saying? Hey, have a nice night. Sorry, you know what I'm saying? Why not just give him some more packets? But see, that be at these restaurants too, see, and customer service is horrible. I don't get why people, well, first off, I don't get why you going to a Checkers. I don't get why you going to a fast food restaurant, man. I can make a better burger at home. I don't get why you going to eat this ultra-processed food. And again, I went into a lesson on that yesterday with Dr. Oz. That food is fucked up. This food that they serving at these fast food restaurants, man, that food is not real. And then a motherfucker get that bitch loaded down with some ultra-processed bacon. And that sends triggers through these people anyway. Why you think people be having cravings? You just all of a sudden you got a craving for something. A restaurant food. Like, just out of the blue, you have a taste for a Whopper. That lets you know that they putting shit in it that's pulling you back in. But anyway, and people already bugged out enough. No damn manners. Customer service is horrible. And all this pretty much stemmed from a female, which probably was a so-called black woman. This nigga was probably trying to show his manhood. Anyway, it says one witness told cops the argument was over missing mayonnaise packets per the affidavit. While Robertson stood at the window, Mackey came around to the front of the building and began arguing with the man. See, which he should have stayed on the inside. What are you arguing with this man about some fucking mayo for? Just get that man some fucking mayo. Replace his sandwich or whatever the fuck maybe. See, when people get into arguments like that, you ain't replacing nothing for me. I just want a refund. Because motherfuckers will do anything to your food. Just crazy, bro. And these types of places, I know it's one right up the street from me that I never go to. I remember back in the days I used to, way back, before I came into the truth. And it was just like, it was always disgusting. And I'm not the person the type to call a 800 number on a company. But I called the 800 number on that motherfucker the last time. As a matter of fact, it looked like the very same one. Because they all got that same design, of course. But it's one right up the place. It's not too far from me, right here. The food was so bad. Every single time I went, I never got good food from there. Every single time I went, that shit was horrible. Horribly made. Taste horrible. So why are you going to these places anyway, man? I'm going to make my own burger if I'm going to make a fucking burger. Which I haven't made a burger in a while, but hey, it is what it is on that. I'm kind of on a meat fast, you know what I'm saying? I'm about a month in now without just fruits and vegetables so far, you know what I'm saying? With some water, some pulse, man. Getting down like that as of yet. And I can tell the difference too. You want to, detox and get that red ass, because I hadn't eaten no red meat anyway in probably about, I don't know, maybe going on about 8 or 9 months. But, I just decided to just cut back on the fish and chicken, turkey or whatever, you know what I'm saying, just for, I don't know what amount of time. I'll see when the Lord wants me to start back eating it, but, kind of been. Matter of fact, I was kicking. A brother put on in the comment board too, on a lesson that I done on Dr. Oz, where he was talking about how he hadn't, he been sticking to what we was doing, when the, matter of fact, let me see if I can find that brother's comment real quick. Yeah, because it was a beautiful comment. Let me see what the brother's name was. Salakia, bear with me here. If I can find here, is this the brother? Nope, that's not him. I might not be able to find his comment right off. Salakia. But he had a beautiful comment that, you know what I'm saying, he hasn't been eating any leaven or any of that, you know what I'm saying, since the past holy day that we had. You know what, it might be in one of my other pages, so Salakia. But it was beautiful because, hey, he been sticking it out. He hasn't been eating no leaven, after getting all the leaven out of his house for the Passover. He been sticking to that, and me too, overall. Not, I haven't been 100% because but I will say that, I've overall been kind of sticking to it. I would say about 90%. I have eaten some, I'm certain, some leaven somewhere, but, not as much as when I was before the Passover. Once you put all that stuff out of your house, and you come back in, well, I kind of left it outside, and stuck with it for a few months afterwards, so to speak, But it's a good thing because that food, man, that shit it fucks with people. And you better believe when things hit the fans, when shit really get bad out here, and these places are shut down, and hey, it's gonna be some crazy ass zombie-like ass people out here that's gonna be fiending for that Big Mac, that chicken McNugget meal, and they can't. These fat ass kids, people gonna be bugging the hell out, man. Because a lot of people don't understand what's happening. They not the scriptures talks about a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. These people are not prudent. They don't know what's going on. They have no idea what's happening until it just happened to them. And then all of a sudden everybody rushing to the supermarket and rushing to these gas stations, and there's all kinds of chaos and bullshit going on, trying to get a damn bottle of water, or trying to put some gas in your tank. That's another thing too. The apostles been talking about, hey, keep your tank on full. Your tank you use a quarter, put that quarter back in. Keep that bitch on full. You shouldn't ever be under a half tank, in this day and time anyway, because you just never know when a damn blackout might go down. Keep some gas in your car, man. Little stuff like that. That's wisdom. Those are tidbits of wisdom. Like, we know that it all comes from the Lord, of course. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. So don't get simple and get to thinking that you're so goddamn smart that you outsmarting the system and you're, with your own might, you're doing something. No, you believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh, but at least be handling the steps as far as wisdom, what he gave you. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I don't know. That's got to be for somebody. That's for somebody by the Spirit. The Spirit changes like the wind. But let's jump back into a little bit more of this. It says, during the spat, witnesses believe Robinson called Mackey a pussy or a boy. The affidavit said Mackey allegedly said, "Oh, I'm a pussy," pulled out a gun and shot Robertson in the chest. Mackey ran away but returned to grab his backpack before fleeing again. Cops later found Mackey hiding under a stairwell at a nearby hotel. He told deputies he had a gun on him and asked, "Is the dude okay?" Why the fuck would you be asking that? Well, But that's how we know that that's a spirit of vengeance, because people, they do shit, and then once the shit is over with, it's like, they get to, having those anxiety attacks, like, and panicking, like, what the fuck was I thinking? They wasn't thinking nothing. The thing of it it's that spirit of vengeance that overtook them. We can get that in Ecclesiasticus 39 and 28. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So the Lord created a spirit of, he created multiple spirits. Ain't no telling how many of them it is, man. It could be in the millions. We don't know, because we know that he's the father of spirits. But he created spirits of vengeance to appease his wrath. So he killed two birds with one stone. One wicked older nigga and one wicked younger nigga. This nigga going to jail. Because he's not going to be able to stand, I know they have that stand your ground law down there in Florida. But you're not going to be able to come up, that's not going to be a defense for you, because you came out of the restaurant. You approached him. Let him call you a bitch ass nigga. Let him call you a pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, man, them little bullshit ass words, man, that shit don't mean nothing, man. You know? And that's that scripture that Proverbs, I think it's 16:32, where it talks about pretty much overall controlling your spirit, man. Matter of fact, let me go in. I can grab it and let me get in the blue letter real quick. I think it's Proverbs 16:32. I might be wrong, but yeah. Proverbs 16:32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh the city. See? You're far more mightier than this man. If you like, man, fuck, man, pussy, man, who the fuck? Ain't nobody responding to that shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know that shit, that boat didn't sail. Anybody still responding to something like that? You know? You letting words like that push your buttons here in 2024? 2025, Slovakia. 2025, you still letting little words like that, you know, prick you as a man. But see, 23 years old, you know, he's still at his mama house. You see, it said he ran. It didn't say he jumped in his car. He there working a little fast food job, you know, and I'm not fronting on nobody that's got a gig. You going to work a job, but shit, go and work that bitch. Don't let nobody ruffle your feathers, man, with no couple of words. And again, a soft answer goes a long ways. You know? People know when people have attitudes. That stress and contention shit, that strife, you causing strife. And I'm willing to bet you the guy probably got agitated with the bitch, bro. Because it all stems from him talking to a woman at first and the guy asking for a manager when all she had to do was get him a manager. She was probably talking all kinds of shit. That's why I'm serious, man. Like going to a restaurant or just being in public in general and dealing with so-called black women, which I'm not saying that's what this was, but I'm pretty certain this was a so-called black woman. And this guy was probably trying to defend her honor. He going to jail. This bitch still at the restaurant, you know, Facebook and FaceTiming about the shit. You know, with videos of her bouncing her fat nasty ass on you know, come on, bro. All this stems from, you know, I'm telling you, it has something to do with her as well. Because, you know, Jake be trying to, you know, well, I'm going to defend her honor. Yeah, right. Yeah, let that bitch get slapped in the mouth. You jump. What are you coming out of the drive-thru window for? You should have just stayed where the fuck you was. What's it got to do with you? Anyway. Video from the Checkers show Mackie climb out of the drive-thru window. See that? And him running up to Robertson before shooting him. So you going to jail. Ain't no self-defense there, buddy. The defendant was appointed an attorney. He remained, ain't no use in giving that nigga no attorney, man. We are shocked and saddened. Of course, you know, that's what the company gonna say. All that bullshit. But anyway, and it's more stories like this shit right here. Check this out.
Police are investigating a deadly incident, a deadly shooting in Tampa. This happened at a 7-Eleven on North Nebraska Avenue near East 109th Avenue. Police say they got a call about a disturbance and found a man shot when they arrived. Investigators say an employee shot a customer after the two got into an argument. He was taken to the hospital where he died. Police say the employee is cooperating with the investigation.
See that? See, these employees shooting customers now. Because why? Because these motherfucking customers been coming through, fucking shit up. They irate as hell. And these people are like, man, I'm not dying of it. But it's simple, man. Just you know, a soft answer goes a long. Hey, look, good customer service goes a long ways. You know, you're being calm. You're speaking to them with respect. You know, just being respect. You know, treating a person the way that you. Because if you flip the shit around, you won't want nobody talking to you the way that you be talking to them. So they wonder why when they get off work and they try and go and get some service somebody and somebody talking shit to them, they wondering why they being spoken to like that. Because you're reaping what you've sown overall. Here's another one. Road rage.
In Osceola County, bullets fly in broad daylight in a Publix parking lot. Surveillance video captures the chaotic moments leading up to this shooting.
And Fox 35's Chancellor Wynn is joining us live from Poinciana today. So, Chancellor, deputies say this was a case of road rage that got out of hand.
Yeah, John, Luann, it was very chaotic and scary moments for shoppers in this Poinciana Publix parking lot when two drivers got into a gunfight. Now, investigators say it all started as a road rage incident, and now one man is behind bars facing multiple charges, including attempted murder.
I mean, I know people are definitely on edge these days, but we shouldn't be shooting shots in the middle of the daytime.
Road rage leads to bullets in the middle of the afternoon on Sunday, March 30th, in the parking lot of the Poinciana Publix that Christian Rodriguez says he visits weekly.
It was in broad daylight at 2 o'clock. Like, even though it was between them, it could have hurt someone, honestly, a child, anyone.
Surveillance video captures the chaotic moments. Pay attention to the right side of your screen, where you can see a black car following a silver car in the parking lot. Moments later, the silver car reverses, crashing into another car and a fence.
He has to throw his car in reverse after he's shot at. He could have ran someone over. A lot of different things could have happened.
Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez says this man, 23-year-old Jesus Perez, was at a stoplight, aggressively honking at a car in front of him for not driving when the light turned green. Perez allegedly followed the other driver.
Okay, well, you get it, man. We don't have to go too far into it. Let's go back to the script. Because these people, hey, them spirits of vengeance are really on these people, man. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord can turn somebody up and make them crash out at any point in the game, man. That's why it's so important. We always say pray without ceasing. Pray without ceasing. That 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Pray before you leave your crib, man. And see, right now it's the Shabbat. And I've been noticing, you know, I don't know if any of you other people been noticing that, you know, but all the Sabbath days have been landing on this man's holidays this year, or the past year and a half, or 2 years or so that I've been noticing. So we're not out in the, you know, you should be chilling. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be at a Memorial Day barbecue with your wicked ass family, man. You know, out here barbecuing pork ribs and shit to the memory of so-called white people murdering people, man, everywhere they fucking go. You didn't get to reading off this long list of men that lost their lives. We don't give a fuck about them losing their lives. You know, because you're going to fight for some shit that you don't even know, really. You know, but overall, you're fighting for a wicked-ass government, a wicked-ass people, man. And then you got Jake out here with music blasting, pork ribs and fucking pork sausages and whatever the hell else they can eat. That's abominable. And watch the news tomorrow. Watch how many people you're gonna see tomorrow that's deleted from at one of these parties. See? And we don't feel sorry for them. Anyway, let me start back at the top. Ecclesiasticus 39:28, it says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So, you Christians that's teaching that the Lord is just, he loves every damn thing. You know, he just loves everything your wicked ass do. Well, you better know that the Lord, he created spirits for vengeance, to appease his wrath for people that do wicked. So that goes against that bullshit doctrine that you have that the Lord loves everybody and loves everything. Verse 29, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. There's plenty of people that's done died by those particular spirits right there just within the hours of this morning. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in his commandment. They shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. So these spirits are rejoicing to get a commandment that knock your ass off. No matter if you're a pregnant woman, an old elderly woman, an old elderly man, you know, you a motherfucker in a wheelchair with no legs, you were deaf, you were blind. It don't make no difference. When the Lord take your ass out of here, you're out of here because of a judgment that he has placed upon you. You know? And if you're righteous, you know, we're praying for mercy from you. How we either want to see the Lord come, or we want to, you know, peacefully pass away in our sleep like our forefathers did. You know, you don't want to be, and if we're going to be tortured, or if we're going to die a horrendous death, we want it to be for this gospel. You out here dying for some bullshit. Come on, bro. Well, I did quote, let me go into this, because this is where we're at right here. These are these prophecies playing out to let you know that we're in the last days. So you need to take this thing seriously. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1, it says, this know also, that in the last days, see, It's talking about the last days. Keep that in mind. Perilous times shall come, which is going off into difficult times, very hard times. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent. That word incontinent, I always say it all the time. That's going off into a person with no self-control. You don't have no self-control if you jumping through the drive-thru window at your job. You're the employee. You don't have no self-control when you jump out of that window with a gun and shoot a customer in the fucking chest, man. And the family gonna sue that restaurant. Now, they might be able to fight and say, well, we have a strict policy on not bringing weapons, to the spot, this, that, and the third. I guess it just depends on the history. They might be able to get around it, but, of course, the family going to want to sue. Your employee killed the breadwinner of the family. This nigga was probably going there to get some goddamn hamburger combos and shit for a bitch and the kids, you know what I'm saying, when she should have been cooking. That's just me speaking as a man. You never know. But anyway, it says, verse 3 again, 2 Timothy 3:3, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce. So you have to be a fierce-ass person, too. A person without natural affection, man. Despisers of those that are good. Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. So if you know people that even act like this, that's got these attributes, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially, because most people, they got at least 5 to 6 of these attributes, man. You see? So people are bugging the fuck out, man. That's why, you want that soft answer, man. You want, it's better to take that L. It's better to take the low road. It's better to, just take it, man. You know what I'm saying? Even Paul, he spoke on things like that. Take the L. Take the L, man. It's nothing to take a lower road. Motherfuckers might be looking at you like, oh, he punked you. He this, that. But see, that comes with that pride. You see? Here we go. You can see this dude right here. This motherfucker, he just be kicking it with himself. He's standing right here outside of my car talking about, you ain't talking to no hoe ass nigga. Cussing, fussing, he be screaming. Something wrong with that guy though. He be walking through them, up and down the street with a big ass beer. He probably headed back to the store now. He just walked through here with a big ass can of beer. He's sitting here talking to himself, talking about I ain't no hoe ass nigga, because he don't even see me sitting in my car. But I see him all the time and shit. But that's the mindset of Jake though. Jake is through, man. Motherfucker don't have no job. That motherfucker walk back and forth, up and down. He's up early in the morning taking beer cans back to the store, because I see him as I'm going to work. And then as I'm getting off work and I'm coming home, he's at that point in the game. He's all the way there, man. He's super drunk at that point in the game. And I don't know what he do. I think he's on medication or something, but somebody getting a check or something for that guy, because he ain't never worked nowhere, and he's an older guy too. No. My neighbor knew him. He was kicking it with my neighbor yesterday or whatever. But anyway, it's Lakia, man. But hey, it's a lot of wickedness going on in the planet. Be circumspect, but always pray. That is so important, man, because the Lord, he's in control of these spirits. He's in control of the get down, and acknowledging the Lord in all your ways. That's a beautiful thing. The elders, they was going into a lesson on that. The elders out in Dallas, GMS, was going into a lesson. I kind of fell asleep to it last night, but I got most of it though. But yeah, they was pretty much overall going off into acknowledging Yahweh, man, acknowledging Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names of the Father and Son. As soon as you get up, that's what they was going into. You jumping up, you grabbing your phone. The very first thing you do is grabbing your phone. You making breakfast, you know what I'm saying, and you text 20, 30 niggas before you even get into some prayer, before you even get into some reading. Nah, man, push their asses to the side. Get into these scriptures first, you know what I'm saying? Read you a chapter. Definitely, as soon as you get out of bed, you should be praying. At least the Lord's Prayer. I get it. Sometimes you have to, boogie to the bathroom real fast. You know what I'm saying? But when you wake up, because but other than that, you know what I'm saying? Shit, there, all that, you just on the phone and you just texting people and you checking through your Facebook, you checking your, all this bullshit. Oh man, get on up, man, and pray to the Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to get your day going. Proverbs 3:5, it says, trust in Yahweh with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. See that? That's a beautiful way right there to think right there, man. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear Yahweh and depart from evil. Because if you're being wise in your own eyes, that's being wicked, man. Because you don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? You want to pray to the Lord that knows all things to protect and keep you safe and your family and your household, man. So I'm gonna end out there. This is not surprising. Hey, this is that flood behavior that's going on. So you shouldn't be at no damn fast food restaurant in these days and times anyway. I wouldn't trust nothing at none of them motherfuckers. For real, for real. That would have to be a a last thing on earth type of thing right now, boy. For real, for real. Like, damn. Before I eat a chicken finger out of one of them motherfuckers or a chicken sandwich or, no, I'm making that at the house. If I want something like that, you know what I'm saying? Because these people crazy as hell anyway. But the food is just not good for you, man. That shit, man, you into this truth and you still eat fast food, And I'm not saying, hey, I mean, that's on you, I get it. Some people be on the road. If you're going, you want to get the healthiest of it. That would be my thing on it anyway. You want to get the healthiest of it that you can. But what's really healthy at a fast food restaurant? Shit, about the healthiest thing you can get out of one of those places is maybe a cup of tea if that shit not tainted, if the water not tainted that they're giving it to you in, or bottled water, all that sugary ass, high fructose corn syrup ass soda to go along with them fries that never die, that bread that never mold. Come on, bro. Anyway, with that, I pray that the listen was edified. Kwame Yasha Allah and a Bible ball.